I was telling you about this list of notables, and I ran across the name Bart Shatto, and we're going to talk to Bart in a minute. Bart's done a lot, dude. From Broadway, playing Jean Valjean and Les Mis, to television acting. He's got a 10-plus year career with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I had no clue that this guy was a P-Town boy, man, and just that resume, makes me proud to call him a P-Town boy.
From the Peoria area all the way to singing in front of 1 million people at Brandenburg Gate in Germany. I mean, that's big time.
Oh yeah, man. Well, let's not jack around because we got about a half hour set aside to talk with Bart Shatto, and I hope I'm saying your last name right, Bart. If not, I'm sure you'll correct me. Yeah, today's a special day for Bart, by the way.
That's
because he's talking to me.
Hello.
Hey, Bart.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Big Perm. What's shaking, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Brother, I am doing well. I'm so stoked and excited to have you on the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Why am I seeing a New York number on this one? On my phone, man.
It's my switchboard. That's what I'm calling you from.
Oh, okay, got it. Hey, listen, I'm on earphones. Am I heard okay?
Oh, absolutely. You're coming through great.
That's fantastic. I expected this Midwestern area code like mine, the 309 area code. So I was like, who the hell's calling me before my interview? God damn it.
Well, and that kind of blew my mind when you called and I saw your number. I'm like, this guy's out of, what's he got a Peoria number for? But hey, it works, man.
It's what, it just keeps me keeps keeps my ties to the Midwest. That's the reason why I have it.
Well, and that's the biggest reason why I wanted to bring you on tonight was to talk about that and the success that you found on the stage. But before we get to that, I got to hit this for you, man.
What's that?
You there?
Today is your birthday! It's my birthday too!
Yes, today is Bart's birthday. Happy birthday, homie.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday.
That's pretty awesome. I got all these Facebook happy birthday messages coming in like since last night. I got over 300 of them so far. And they're just just coming in slowly, trickling in. I'm like, I don't really want to acknowledge this. And then I've got there was an old Peoria director that I worked with a long time ago when I was in high school. Her name is Molly Slaughter, and she's like, "Oh my God, you can't be 49. There's no way you can be 49." So, and I responded. I said, "No, I think they got it all screwed up. I'm actually 94." So.
Well, you wear it well, brother. You wear it well.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Well, listen,
go ahead.
Before we go any further, I got to bring my sidekick in, Mr. Vic Nasty. Are you there, Vic?
I'm here.
What's up, Vic?
What up, Bart?
What's up, Nasty?
Hey, I'm here with you to celebrate your birthday.
Thanks, man. Well, I'm drinking a little Johnny Walker Red and having a good time. And actually, my wife promised.
Johnny Walker. At least you're on that Johnny Walker. We're drinking Aristocrat vodka here in the Midwest.
You cheap bastards. Hey, this is uncensored, by the way, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So that means that we can use...
Red, it's all too expensive for me.
So that means we can use... all different kinds of bad words, right? I mean, offensive words, but...
You can use any fucking word you wanna.
That's what I love about you guys. That's what I love. So I'm drinking a little Johnny Walker Red, man, and my wife promises me some birthday petty sex after the interview. Yeah!
Gotcha.
Well, hey, hopefully you can last the half hour with us.
I'll let you know how it goes afterwards, guys, I promise.
All right, man.
Jay,
well, hey,
it's only been about 8 months. It's not a big deal. What's that?
Just leave your phone on while you're having birthday sex, and so you ought to call me Big Nasty. Everything will be fine.
All right, brother. All right. A friend of mine who's obviously gay, because I've got a lot of gay friends, because I'm in Broadway. I'm in the industry, so I have a lot of wonderful gay friends, and one of my friends even offered a blowjob on my birthday, which is pretty awesome.
Well, hell.
Blowjobs flying in from everywhere. That's the life. Johnny Walker and blowjobs just coming out of the blue. God damn it.
I thought that was, it's either a Starbucks card or a blowjob. So, where would you guys choose? Come on. And I got a Starbucks card online, and I got a possible blowjob. Plus, pretty sex with my wife. So, you know what? I can't complain.
It's good to keep one in reserve. You never know when you'll get another one.
So it's been a good day, guys. It's been a good day.
Well, listen, Bart, before we talk about your roots, there's something that I'm just dying to ask you about, and it's a character that you played called Terry Chainsaw, man. I fucking love it.
Oh, thanks, man.
I need
are we going to see like a full-length movie featuring Terry Chainsaw?
Dude, you know what? This guy is a young filmmaker. He's going to school in New York. He's a young up-and-coming filmmaker. I think he graduates this year. You know, in fact, I work with a lot of young filmmakers lately who love my work. And this particular thing, this character, when I read the script, and I laughed out loud while I was reading the script. I was like, okay, if it's funny for me, then it's going to be funny to everyone. That's why I took the role. It's like, this is just fucking funny. So Tommy is his name is the director's name is Tommy. We still keep in touch, but he wants to write a feature based on this Terry Chainsaw character. Just in case, this film's not gonna. It's a short film. It's it's just for it has a very not even a release, but if you watch it on YouTube. He's kind of a low-rent, Tony Robbins. He's a real low-rent Tony Robbins motivational speaker who does most of his motivational speaking in people's basements, because, they can't, they can only pay him like $5 to talk. So, but he's an interesting guy. I think we see the kind of that loser in all of us in Terry Chainsaw.
Well, hey, I got a 30-second clip lined up. Can I play it?
Oh, please, man. Please do.
My favorite.
What are you?
I'm an asshole.
What do you suffer from?
Assholism.
Who are you?
Chainsaw bitch.
Are you a loser?
Fuck no.
Will you succumb to your addictions today?
Fuck me.
Maybe.
I love it.
Listen up. The first rule in cutting addiction is to know that you have a problem. Now, I know you've heard that before, but does that mean it's not important?
Fuck no.
That's right, people. Fuck no.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm glad one person out there enjoys Terry Chainsaw. No, actually, you know what? All of Tommy's professors, he did it as a sort of a thesis film. But the film looks amazing. The film looks awesome, and he wrote this great character. But all the professors, everybody that's watching the film, is like, we want more Terry Chainsaw. And I was just like, dude, so he's going to write a feature one of these days. But it was a fun role, man. It's fun to do stuff like that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
For sure, man. Well, let's talk roots, man.
I've seen in a while. And whenever you said, you need a concentrated shot of Terry Chainsaw. One of the greatest lines, one of the greatest things I've seen in a while.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the scene down in the basement with the. There was there was so much ad-libbing going on. There was I improv the entire thing, but the whole AIDS thing with the 80s, and you need to watch your documentaries, man, was all completely improv. And the guy was working off of a young actor. Just brilliant. Just took it all. Just like, because he was the whipping boy. He was my whipping boy. So it's all completely ad lib, all completely improv. Most of that film is. So it's pretty cool. I hope people enjoy it.
It shows the versatility.
Do you prefer acting off the cuff and ad libbing as opposed to a script? What do you think?
I like a little structure, absolutely, but I also like a little leeway as well. So I like a balance of both. But I don't trust myself in improv. But once I'm doing it, I'm like, you know what? I really need to trust myself a little bit more because I'm really good at this. But I've never taken any full improv classes. But I just think if you're funny, you're funny, and if you're into the character and you know what the character's deal is and objective, then funny shit's going to come out, and sometimes it's better than a written word.
Absolutely, man. What I wanted to talk about now, and we'll get back to your career here in a little bit, but let's talk Peoria roots, man. Let's talk P-Town. You're a man that was born here. I know you moved away for a little bit. You came back, went to Bergen High School, and I know you still keep rather close ties here to Peoria.
Yeah, I do. I want to give a shout out to my mom on my birthday. I'm like the worst son ever because I hardly ever talk to my mom. I'm completely. I'm sure she's like, is he waiting for me to die? I mean, he never calls. But she's there, all by her lonesome since my dad passed away in 2005. My dad worked at Pat's Blue when I was going to high school, and they closed down. And he said, I got to take care of the family. That's what I got to do. So he was in the brewery business for like 40-some years. And then got a job down in Southern Illinois, and was transferred to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and moved him and my mom out there for like 8 years. And then when he retired, where'd he come back? He came back to Peoria, and unfortunately he passed away not too long after he came back, a couple years after he came back. My mom, she's salt of the earth, man. I mean, she's, to be without my dad, it's just, it's tough. I'm sure it's tough on her on a daily basis, but I am the worst son ever, I have to say that. So I want to give a shout out to my mom, my Uncle Norm, Kelly, and my Aunt Gloria, who's out in Peoria, my brothers in Chillicothe, who he texted me tonight, wishing me a happy birthday. By the way, Bergen, I went to Bergen, a private Catholic high school. Which you guys, I don't know if you're younger, you probably haven't heard of, but right now it's been renamed Notre Dame High School. Yeah, it was
right? An old Spalding that they put together and made Notre Dame. Yeah,
we were big rivals back then. I have a trivia question for you. I don't know if you know this, Big Perm, but do you know who the mascot was for Bergen High School?
Oh, I'm clueless.
Okay, dude. All right, think private Catholic high school, right? All right, we have a Monsignor who's the fucking principal. We have priests and nuns running around, right? Who are, part of the teaching curriculum. All right, so I dated 3 Trojanettes when I went to Bergen High School. We were the Bergen Trojans.
Oh goodness.
And the Trojanettes were like the cheerleading team. They were kind of, they were like walking condoms because all the girls that I dated, they never went past like freaking third base. These girls never fucked. They did everything but. So I just think it's weird that Bergen, a Catholic high school, would name its mascot after a condom. I just think it's very ironic. I don't think they got it at the time, but anyway. But I dated 3 Trojans, 3 Trojanettes, and I used 3 Trojans, by the way. No, just kidding. I hope this is uncensored because this is really, really. I hope there are no kids from Peoria, like any nieces and nephews, listening to this because this is like really raunchy, but.
Hey, it's all good. That's the way we like it, baby.
All right, man. All right, sorry about that, but all right. I'm not going to apologize. That's my birthday, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, going from Peoria, to the stages of Broadway, man, I mean, those are 2 different worlds. When I was researching you and digging into your past, and I saw that you played Jean Valjean in Les Mis, I mean, that's one of my favorites, dude. And then I heard you perform, Bring Him Home, and a favorite tune of mine. Dude, I was just blown away. What was that opportunity like, to play that part?
Well, I joined the tour in San Francisco. It took me a year to get the role, by the way. And this last Broadway show that I did, Hands in a Hard Body, I was a standby for 6 roles. And I was a standby for, oh, by the way, listen to the audience. We're going to make a lot of musical theater references, so just be careful. I just want to warn you. But I was a standby for the 2 lead, Keith Carradine and Hunter Foster in Hands on the Hard Body, this past Broadway show that I did last year. I was standby for 4 other guys as well, so like 6 roles. I never went on because we ran for like 20 performances. But I was an understudy for Valjean for a year on the road. I met them in San Francisco. Of course, San Francisco is a friggin' glorious city, man. Being there, I was there for a month, man, and I joined the tour then. So, for the first 3 weeks, I just learned the show. I mean, I rehearsed with the musical director, blah, 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 and watched the show every night. And, try to figure out how am I going to make this my own. So, what did I do? I stole everything that every other Valjean did. That's what I did. I actually asked one of my friends who was like this freakish Valjean fan, Les Mis fan, and I would be on conversations. I'd be on the phone with her like, 8 hours a day. Like, okay, so what do you think about this moment? What about this moment? So she really helped me kind of figure out, and I found my own. I mean, I stole for the best, but I also found my own. I don't think I went on. The first city I went on was Nashville, and the night before I got totally wasted with a friend of mine. We were up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was Jack Daniels. It was Nashville, for God's sake. So I was up pretty much all night long. I got the call. I was much younger back then, but when I went on, a friend of mine that I did he's a Christian artist. He's one of the best voices out there in the industry these days. One of the best pop voices ever heard. His name is Mike Eldred. He happened to be in the audience. It was an afternoon show. And I didn't know Mike was out there. I just took a role with Mike on the tour after I did it on Broadway. It was my first Broadway show. And Mike is an incredibly talented guy. And when Mike saw the show, I mean, I felt like, I only remember one moment is when I sang Who Am I? You hit the high B flat at the end in the trial. I just remember it felt like it was a dream, man. I felt like I was walking through a dream, in the dream of my life. And everything that I had worked for had come together in that one fucking defining moment on stage in Nashville in an afternoon show that nobody gave a shit about. And it's so weird because my friend Mike was in the audience. And after that performance, and everything went on without a hitch, man. It was just perfect. It was like, and it's one of the biggest roles in musical theater. I was ready, I was ready to go. He said, Bart, after I saw that performance, it makes me want to. It gave me a passion to go back into musical theater because he was really. I mean, he was done with it. He was finished, and he was done with the business. He went back into it about a year and a half later. He ended up playing Valjean on Broadway and replacing my replacement. So, not only did I have my first shot at Valjean completely, I think I was probably still wasted after that afternoon. I had to have been still wasted. I know I was. I know alcohol was still in my system. Not only was it a seminal moment in my life playing Valjean in Nashville, but a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine who I love and I respect and I admire, it rejuvenated his love for musical theater, and he ended up playing Valjean several years later on Broadway, and then he ended up playing Valjean in Salt Lake City last year. So it's just like, it's an incredible thing. It's kind of like giving back in a way. It's sort of like reciprocity. It's cool. So I did that for a year. So I continued to go on. There were 200 studies for Valjean. I continued to go on for him like once a week. His name was Ivan Rutherford, so I learned a lot from Ivan just watching him. And then, luckily, I was transferred to the Broadway company after a year. Which I certainly didn't expect. And so then, once I was transferred, I learned the Broadway show, and then I did a year and a half, and I had to leave because I was about ready to shoot myself in the head. So,
you had enough?
Oh, I had enough, man. I wanted to kill myself. Plus, I was going through a divorce at the time. Like, personally, I was going through a lot. My dad, to this day, God rest his soul, he said two things to me. He said, Bart, you're going to get there with your voice. And the other thing he said to me, he's rolling in his grave right now. He said to me, you should never have left Les Mis. My dad is the coolest guy in the world. My dad, and I'll talk about my dad just before we leave. When you guys cut me off, I wanted to talk about the Bart Shatto Scholarship at Manual High School that we have set up for young kids in music. But my dad was the most amazing guy ever. But he said, and I remember those two things, and those two things always, I wake up to those two things in my head every day. You're going to get there with your voice, and you should have never left Les Mis. I should have never left Les Mis.
Well, hey, Bart, we live and we learn, man. That's what life's all about. Shit.
Bart, have you
that's
ever
right, man.
In your career when you just thought, no matter where you were at, going from the Midwest to singing in front of, millions of people in the Brandenburg Gate in Germany and stuff like that, have you ever had those moments where you said to yourself, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like every time I did this Brandenburg Gate thing, and in Berlin and New Year's Eve, I'm like going, oh Jesus, there's like 50,000 people at the sound check, and it's like a sea of people. It's like you're watching a film. It's always like watching a film. It's like watching a film and watching like a crowd scene of like 1 million people, but they're all CGI'd in, and that's what it felt like on that stage. It was literally 35 fucking degrees in Berlin that night. 35 fucking degrees. We're freezing our ass off, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to sing this song, and I'm gonna soak up every minute. But you know what? It's moments like that when I'm playing arenas, with TSO and arenas of stadiums or theaters or whatever, and it's that defining moment where it's like, you know what? I came from Peoria to a small town of 850 people in Bradford, Illinois. I'm representing, motherfucker. I'm representing not only Peoria, but those young guys, those young ladies and gentlemen, and with dreams, man, and that that don't think they're good enough, or they're coming from very humble beginnings, that they don't have a lot of resources to draw upon. Growing up in a small town of 850 people where everyone's a farmer, and they have to leave the class because they have to, plant crops and, take care of the pigs. I'm like, come on. So I'm like going, this is like, I'm living a dream. It's just, I'm living a dream, especially with this, and it happens, it's like the Berlin thing was like, it continues to happen. And it's like, I'm not saying that my life is always like that. I mean, there's been a dry spell over the past 3 months. It's like, what's going on? But then something will come up and something amazing will happen. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for my Peoria roots and where I came from. And that's it. I'm always representing, man. Whenever I perform, whenever I get up on stage, whenever I challenge myself and I surprise the fuck out of myself, I'm making my dad proud. I'm making my family proud, and making my town proud.
Well, Bart, let's talk about family. Your wife and your son Connor. I mean, Connor's quite talented himself, man.
Yeah, you know what? I just heard he's been accepted at Marymount College, which is right in New York City, the musical theater program. He's got a great scholarship. We're waiting to hear on all these. He's got 12 major schools that he auditioned for. He was in Ithaca this past weekend. He's auditioned for NYU, at Fish, Michigan. He's got some top schools. The kid is really super talented. He's like a sponge. He's very malleable. He wants to learn. He loves it. He loves it. It would be wrong for me as a father to dissuade him from this career. It's a really tough career. He sees me, and he sees me now struggling. I'm struggling, and sometimes I'm doing really well, but he sees it on a daily basis. So all I can be is supportive for him, supportive to him. And you know what? He's already been accepted in a program of one of the top 20 musical theater programs in the country. He has been accepted to with a really nice scholarship in the musical theater program. So I'm really super proud of him. And we'll see where this goes in about another month or so. You know?
Hell yeah. Vic, you got anything else, brother?
No, I'm just as far as the mindset and stuff like that. I'm really, big into the psychology of different things, Bart. With a character, whether ranging from, McNally, you doing your singing, with TSO and what have you, to Terry Chainsaw. Do you ever get into any of the methods, or what? How do you get into, prepared for a role?
Well, I do a lot of research. I'm just a big history buff, and I just do a lot of research, or I just go from instinct. But I create a backstory for the character. Like when I first got the job with TSO back in 2002. And the great thing about TSO, man, they're the first major rock band to go to theaters and arenas, and they never played a club. They had no opening act. They were never an opening act, and they went straight to theaters and arenas. And all the records they sold, they're just an incredible band. They started touring in 1999. I started touring with them in 2002. And in the song that they had me, originally sing was Old City Bar. And so when we were at Sonora Studios in New Haven, Connecticut, rehearsing the show for the tour, when I started singing it, I realized that I was going to get fired like 5 minutes later. No shit. I'm not shitting you. I realized that I was the wrong guy for the job because, seriously, I had a rock voice, but it wasn't the rock voice that I knew that they wanted. So Paul Neal, who created TSO, and his assistant, Tara, at the time, who's no longer with him, after I sang the song, without just like with the band and stuff, there was just like this silence, and I'm like going, oh shit, I think I'm fucked. Oh fuck. And the afternoon went on, and all of a sudden, we rehearsed it again, and for some reason, Paul came up to me and said, what if we, and he had this idea of putting me in a costume, and I was like, once he had the idea of putting me in a costume, that afternoon, I said, okay, you know what, I have to save my job because I'm going to get fired by the end of the day. And so what I did is I thought, you know what, put me in a costume, maybe I can be this homeless guy. And so that afternoon, they were at craft services, the band was at craft services, and I put on this coat, I dressed up like this, I dressed up like this homeless guy, and I went through craft services, and these people didn't recognize me, and I went into this character that I created later called Gerald McNally, and, I got food from the craft services, nobody recognized who I was. And then I went into character later on that afternoon and sang the song that way, and I kept my job for 10 years after that.
That's awesome. The whole improv with the spray disinfectant or the deodorant where you're spraying the mic, and that's great. That's great acting right there.
Well, you know what? It was my only. It was called survival, man. It was like, if I want to keep this job, I better be really super creative. So what morphed out of that was Gerald McNally, and so, but in the beginning, I wasn't the guy for the role.
And here's Bart. This is Gerald McNally right here.
And yes, we know that outside in the snow, that someone was lost, standing outside our door.
Anyway, a little bit of Old City Bar right there, man.
Thanks, man.
Hell yes, brother. Listen, we got about 2 minutes left, Bart. I could probably talk to you for 2 more hours, man, but I got another hour to get to. Before we boogie on down the road, I graciously want to say thank you so much, man, for even responding to me. I mean, I fired you a Facebook message just kind of on a hope and a prayer, and you returned, and I want to say thank you for that, man.
Dude, thank you so much, man, and thank you for reaching out to me. And any time that I get a chance to go back to Peoria or do an interview, and say hello to all my Peoria friends. Of course, I'm completely open to that. Listen, real quick, I want to mention my dad's scholarship at Manual High School.
I wanted to
it's for students who participate in the music curriculum programs for at least 3 years in high school. And they have to have these character traits, like my dad, Bart Shatto: honesty, kindness, perseverance, and a strong moral character. And he graduated from Manual in 1954. I want to give a shout-out to my Uncle Norm, who I would love for you guys to interview. He is the utmost historian about Peoria history. He's a mystery writer. All his stuff is published. He does talks all over the country. He does talks in Peoria. He'll talk your ear off. You're probably going to need about 3 hours with him. And I want to give a shout out to my old directors back in the day who are still there and they're directing, Pamela Reeders and Cindy Hoy. When I was doing Bye Bye Birdie with Pam, I heard this from the audience. You're flat! You're flat! And I was like, what? What? I love Pam. She's like, you're fat. I was like, well, I'm fat. I'm fat. I was like, I was like 120 pounds, seriously. She's like, you're saying you're fat. And I was like, I'm fucking 16 years old, for God's sakes. I love Pam. You know what? She's a perfectionist. She's a great director, and I love her to death. Cindy Hoy gave me my first shot of Peoria Players at Cornstalk, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be on Broadway today. So that's it, man. Hopefully we can talk again. I appreciate you guys giving me a shot.
Hey, Bart, thank you so much, man.
Have a great night.
I'm going to leave with a little Bring Him Home. I love this song, dude. You killed it.
Thanks, man. You guys have a great night.
You have a happy birthday,
you and your
homeboy.
family, Bart. Happy birthday.
Art Neck Nasty. Talk to you later. Bye.
Later. Mr. Bart Shatto, a Peoria native, Broadway, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Terry Chainsaw, motherfucking shit. Vic, that was a blast, dude.
That was a blast. And it's good to see that little culture and comes out of Peoria. It's always good to see when a hometown boy makes good.